Hey, it's 9 o'clock on a Monday, so you know what time it is. It's time for the Ravens Roundtable, one of the most anticipated shows of the season, especially based off what happened yesterday in Jacksonville. Ravens lost by 1 point to the Jacksonville Jaguars, a 3-7 team at the time. They're now 4-7 because they beat us. But we'll get into all that. Let me bring in my co-host tonight so we can get this thing started. We'll start off with Chris. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's going on, Coach? How you doing?
Good. Excited to get this talk in because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be said and probably is going to be said. And there'll be some hate, and we don't care because they're going to come back anyway.
Yes, sir.
Let's bring in Mike. What up, Mike?
Yo, what up, fellas? What's good? Let's get it.
Hey, how was your Thanksgiving?
Man, it was great, man. You know, that's one of my favorites. You know what I mean? So
make sure you check out Mike's latest episode. He talked about the Thanksgiving do's and don'ts. And so we're gonna push open mic with OTR Mike tonight. So Mike, it's up to you to put the link in the stream and we'll pin it and keep throwing it out there. But we're gonna try to get you to that next number, which is what we talked about last week. Whatever that next number is, we'll go from there.
Appreciate it.
I think that's Hendo talking about the first 3 hour stream. That ain't you?
That's Mr. Anthony. That ain't. I saw that.
It's not going to be 3 hours. I promise you that.
We're not even trying to do 2 hours. What's going on? Thank you for having me. What's up, fellas? No 2 hours. Where Dave on that? Hashtag no 2 hours.
and last but not least, bring in the LBHT crew. What up, fellas?
What up? 200 is the number we're trying to get Mikey to. 200 subscribers. That's the next milestone. I guess we're trying to hit. We're at like 160 right now.
Zay and B, you know, my executive producers, you know, I'm gonna need y'all to post that link in there.
I'm already on it. I got you.
So let me open up my YouTube. So when you do post it, I can pin it. That's gonna get started. Once you do that, I can pin it, and then we'll go from there. All right, so first things up, we're going to do something a little bit different. And I'm going to kind of go ahead and tell you where I got it from because, you know, I watch YouTube and I try to take what people do and kind of put it into my show, kind of like what good coaches do. And it is what it is. So there's this guy that does this swag stuff. His name is Off Script. And he kind of puts visuals with what he's talking about. So today is going to be my attempt to put some visuals of what we're talking about. So that way, while the conversation is going on, the people can kind of see what we're talking about. So we're gonna start off with the drama for the day. We're not gonna even start on the football tape. We're gonna get right into the pot. You know, y'all saw it. It is what it is. This tweet right here from Lamar. Castle Will Kill said something about Lamar asking for $250 million. Lamar basically told him, boy, STFU. We all know what that means. Y'all be capping too much on this app. MF never smelt. And you know he felt that. He put that T in and smelt. A football field. Never did shit, but did eat. So when I saw that, I thought nothing of it.
Right.
To me, nothing of it. None of the stuff that was insinuated. But then this happened. Jameson Hens, whatever the hell his name is, we don't care no more. He said Lamar Jackson deletes vulgar tweet. Lamar Jackson responds to social media post that criticizes his performance with a tweet that included an anti-gay phrase. Now, I'm going to ask all these gentlemen up here. You can answer if you want. You don't have to. Because, you know, in the time frame we live in. But all of my 40-some-odd years, I've heard that phrase, DR or eat dick or stuff like that. It has never been like a sexual thing, whether it be your preference or nothing like that. It's always been like you ride another man's coattail. Yeah, you call them out. Right. So how do you guys feel about that?
It's nothing, right? I mean, basically we're mad because Lamar cussed, right? That's pretty much all he's trying to say there. Oh, he cussed and he's supposed to be better than that. He can't be like the other quarterbacks that cuss, right? Mm-hmm. Like we gotta find some way to poke holes at him. But what I love about all this is the fan reaction. Like we try to tell y'all, man, Baltimore fans ain't having it. Okay, we're not gonna allow any slander to come towards Lamar. Like all these little hit pieces you trying to do, and that's what it is, just a hit piece, right? Any little thing you can try to poke holes at them. People ain't trying to hear it, and Jameson caught it just as much as he tried to give it.
Right, and I noticed a lot of people backing off of him too. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
Yeah, man, it's ridiculous, yo. Like, we man, look, I know Zay for 20 years, right? We've said that to each other a time or two in our circle. And never have we,
and then some.
Yeah, and never have we met, anything with your sexual orientation, right?
Nothing.
So, it's a horrible attempt to try to slander this man's character. We're used to him being who he is and being, diplomatic and being professional 100% of the time. And when his counterparts get to fire back like this all the time. So, that's what that backlash is. I'm kind of, I guess I don't know. I guess I'm a little shocked that Jameson Hensley, he's typically solid. But especially when it comes to Lamar. But yeah, it terrible attempt, man, to get some clickbait, and it ain't working.
That's all it was, in my opinion, an attempt to get clicks on. I guess he get paid by the amount of people that kind of go over there and view his stuff through ESPN, and that's what I think that was. Anybody else?
I mean, if you think about it, maybe it's not even clickbait. Maybe it's slander. We still have this contract looming, and if we can paint Lamar in a negative light, like he can't throw, he's not the good guy that we thought he was, maybe we can lessen his price a little bit and keep him in Baltimore on the cheap. Because, I mean, theoretically, especially for people in Baltimore, it's a non-issue. Like, we really don't care. He said stuff that we hear people say all the time. And like Mike said, and you say it in jest, you don't mean anything by it. It's not really anything negative. It's just how some people speak. And he's of a culture and a generation that speaks differently than others. But of course, you have certain people that want to make a big deal out of it and try to gain something off of it.
I agree with Hendo. I thought when I first saw Hemsley, whatever, talking about it, it kind of hit me like, Bishotti kind of enlisting the national media in his fight against Lamar at this point, right? But the thing that was really funny to me is like you're trying to slander Lamar, you're trying to paint him as this bad guy the same week that other quarterback is coming back to play, right? So I don't know that it's really going to hit the way that they're hoping.
Right.
That's crazy.
It's just like it's an example of an old white dude trying to interpret what a young dude, who's from around the way. He's not, he's not Mr. Proper haircut, speak in front of the code switch in front of the media, and that bothers a lot of people. That bothers a lot of the media and how they view a quarterback, the right quarterback. You got to be clean cut. You got to speak in a certain way. But they turn on you even if you do that. Look at what they did to Cam Newton. Cam Newton tried his damn best. Mm-hmm. He tried his best, and they still turned on him. Mm-hmm. And Lamar, a lot of people, they don't like the way he speaks. They don't like the way he looks. We know that for a fact. So Hensley doing this. No, you good. Hensley he knew what he was doing when he put that little blurb out. He knew exactly what he was doing. And if you ask almost anybody who is in this type of space, they will tell you when they first read that, they didn't get anything homophobic about that.
None. I didn't.
I don't think anybody did. And
there's people that did. Because I got into some arguments this morning about it.
Now
so I'm just like,
a girl mentioned it on TV too. Molly Carroll. She basically said the same thing Jameson said.
Man, listen, like these men, they always looking to try to put something on an athlete, right? They're always looking to make something that is not right. Molly don't know what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like Molly did the same thing to what's his name? the ball, LeVar Ball. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right. Like she took it in a completely different direction than what he meant. Like he didn't even understand where she was even coming from. Right. So like kidnapped from Mali. Man, I don't want. Miss me with that, yo. Miss me with that. She's going to interpret what Lamar's saying. No, I don't think so.
Right.
Marco says Hensley owes Lamar an apology. You can't misinterpret or put words in somebody's mouth or spin a tweet to push a narrative. That dude tagged LJ and he responded, which is what I love about it. Now, B, before we get into football stuff, they mentioned, I think Chris mentioned trying to do the Cam, and you've been you're a Panthers fan. Mm-hmm. When Cam first came there, he was clean cut and you know, he was the choir boy as far as his look, right?
Yeah.
And once he started to grow his hair and wear the hats and the different clothes, did the consensus change on their feelings toward him?
I think that, you know, I'm not sure that I would say changed. To Chris's point, Jerry Richardson was the owner when they drafted Cam, and there was reports out at the time that he told him before they drafted him, you know, you can't grow your hair out, you can't get tattoos and all this because, you know, you're the face of my franchise and I want you to look a certain way. Right. You know, kind of like how the Yankees do with their players, no facial hair and all this stuff, right? I think that what changed was Cam's attitude towards everyone else. You know, when he realized, hey, man, you know, putting on this act, you know, it's not working because everybody is still, you know, twisting everything I say. Everybody's still taking their shots every chance they get. Everybody's still against me, so I'm just going to be myself. And I think that's when, you know, the outfits, I don't like whatever. Yeah. You know, that's his style. That's fine, whatever. But then that's when he started growing out his hair and all that. And, you know, he's still a very, you know, he's always very polite and all that. But you can tell that he kind of has a different attitude about him than he did earlier on.
And even like somebody said in the comment before all the craziness, they said, "Oh man, you have a fake smile. You being phony for the cameras. You're not that happy." Like they came at Cam immediately.
And that's the one thing that Cam never struck me as was being fake happy.
Right. Very genuine. He comes out very genuine.
Crazy. We got $10 from Brent Lauren. He says, "Is there a way we can try to make a change in the front office? As fans, we can try to make a change in the front office. As much as I would love to be in Baltimore, I'm not. Curious on y'all thoughts. There's no way we can do anything but just what we're doing now. Just talk about it."
There is, but yeah, you can though. Like you hold your team accountable, right?
I'm saying, what can we do physically other than just stop going to the games?
Yeah, stop going. Stop buying merch.
Yeah, that hurts.
But you know, fan reaction. You know, some of these owners react very strongly to how fans react, and fans seem very extremely upset about something. And they just stop going to games, which is what will happen if Lamar leaves. They're just not going to go to the games. Then that will push change very fast. Which is why I know I don't need to think. I know if Lamar leaves, Harbaugh, his days are numbered. EDC's days are numbered. Like they're not going to survive that.
Right. Keelan dropped 10. He says Hensley has been slandering and throwing shade at Lamar the whole offseason to now. He got the call from up top, man. The management told Hensley, Jonas, and Mink to slander Lamar. Yeah. And it's a lot of people feeling that way. Not saying y'all wrong, not saying y'all right, but it's some truth to everything. It's some truth to everything. But the reason y'all came here was for football. So let's dive into some football and kind of put this stuff behind us because I think we probably already gave Jameson too much more time anyway.
Let me say this one thing though, Coach.
Go ahead. Cool.
You know, for those, you know, you might not see it on the ESPNs, and you know, you hear about Lamar on the big telecast, the big ESPNs, the 4-letter words, all of that. You hear about him there a lot, but you don't hear about as much as you should what we see here locally, right? And those that follow the team probably see this, but listen, one thing I agree with Harbs on what he said today is, man, y'all seen that man with kids. Y'all seen that man with the fans. Y'all seen the man how he even interacts with the media, right? Mm-hmm. The media has come down on this man multiple times, all the time throughout his career, and he keeps a positive attitude. So, like all of this new thing with Molly and all of them, man, they need to chill with that. Like that dude, we seen him in the hood, man. Like the guy goes to the hood by himself.
Bye.
and he take pictures with those kids, man. That's happy to see him. He was at there's a picture floating to him at a local flea market, right? Now, those that know that's in this area know this flea market is like it's a hood classic flea market. Like you just don't run into a celebrity there, right? And he's there walking around like it's nothing, right? It's just that's the type of dude he is. So like all of that, he don't, he lashed at his fans and all of that bull crap. The man reacted to somebody tagging him in something, he's tired of it, right? Everybody else get to do it. I'm glad he fired off. I'm glad he did that.
Me too.
And if you go to that guy's page, he was hitting up Lamar a bunch. It was one of those those crazy ass fans that just want to just slander somebody.
Reaction.
So he got the attention that he wanted. It's not just some innocent bystander that's like, well, what did I do? That's what he was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He just got tired of it. I don't blame him. He human just like the rest of us. Just speaking of firing back, Agent E, make sure you hang around. Because I got basically told to get off the couch and go touch some dirt about my take about Lamar. And I blame you, Agent E, for asking and wondering why I was on the couch so much last week. It's your fault. Agent E, is your fault for asking me about the couch that man tried to call me out and crack a joke. And he didn't even let me respond. He blocked me before I could respond. That's crazy. That's 100% crazy. But let's get into the football part of it. We're going to start right here. It's a little something different. We're going to start with wide receivers and tight ends.
Oh.
And I kind of got them numbered, so I had to kind of readjust my.
Is that what they are? I thought they were just they're fans or something. They're just
wide receivers and tight ends. Let's start with that. And I'll start with you, Jose.
F. They get an F, man. Like you can't have how many did you count? Did you count the total drops, Coach? I know in our chat yesterday they were saying 8 drops.
Mm-hmm. I haven't counted the total yet. I haven't got the whole thing yet, so I haven't counted. Cause see, I'm on the ball that Oliver missed in his zone. To me, that's a drop.
Me too.
The ball. Andrews, Arden Key kind of grabbed his hand. To me, that's a drop. So I'm gonna count them. I'm gonna count mine physically. But go ahead. What you say about PFF?
PFF said 5. That's what PFF said.
Well, I know it's more than 5.
It's more than 5.
Yeah, I know it's more than 5.
Let me tell you something. I got so many issues with PFF. but yeah, everybody in our chat was saying 8. Camrou says 10. It was a lot of drops. I don't even know how I can go past look past that to talk about anything else because nothing else is there, right? When we talk about some of these other top wide receivers, I mean, some of the top wide receivers in the league are leading the league in drops, right? I know Kelsey's lead is up there. I know Jalen Waddle's up there, but both of those guys are over 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. So it doesn't matter. Like our guys aren't doing anything to negate those drops. That's the problem. The drops is one thing, but are you making any kind of plays? The best play I saw out there was Deshaun Jackson. Good for him for being able to get under the ball because none of our other wide receivers can get under the ball and locate the ball and catch it. So lots of props for that. He didn't have anything left after that, though. My man fell down, and then he went back to the sideline. And that was pretty much it, man. Mark Andrews disappointed me, right? I thought he would at least be over the drops he's in the end zone. That was something that he would do a lot in his first 2 years in the league. I thought he was over that, but I don't know, man. Like you can't let Lamar down like that when we don't throw the ball enough for you to make those mistakes. So all around, they all get Fs.
Pause right there, Jose. That you answered Z's question. I was gonna say that, but you came out and said it. It's because we don't have enough chances to overcome drops. You can't have them.
Yeah.
Because you don't have enough chances to I keep going back to the Jalen Waddle thing. Jalen Waddle dropped 5 balls versus us, but nobody remembers that.
But he still had 11 catches.
Exactly. Because you drop 5 balls for the Ravens, you ain't gonna have but 6 attempts. If that, that's a good day.
Yeah,
that's a good day. But go ahead. I ain't mean to cut. I just wanted.
No. I was finishing up. Yeah, F. That's my grade. F.
B.
Yeah, I mean, you can't drop 5 balls for the Ravens. You ain't getting 5 targets. So, but, it's definitely an F. Deshaun Jackson, I would have given him a higher grade, but he only played 10 snaps. And I just, I thought he had something left, but he really doesn't. I mean, he the ability is still there, but the body, his body can't do it. Every time he makes a catch, he has to come out the game for an extended period. So it's just, good for him for getting out there and trying, but it's not there. Obviously, the rest of the guys, nothing, right? Like you had three drops in the end zone. You had Mark Andrews had another drop. You mentioned the one down the sideline and a fumble. Devin Duvernay out there dropping passes out in the flat. And we said it on the stream yesterday, like, don't ask why they're throwing it to Pat Ricard when every other player on the field is dropping the ball. Pat dropped it too, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter who you go to, or at least it didn't in this game. Everybody was playing poorly.
Right.
So definite F.
Hendo?
I'm gonna have to go with the F. I was gonna give them an F minus, but they are who we thought they were.
But you showed mercy.
I showed mercy. They're just not any good. And I think Jose said it yesterday. A lot of these inaccurate balls that we think Lamar's throwing, the wide receivers are running the wrong routes. Because I watched some of the tape a little bit today, and on that Demarcus Robinson drop, miss, he stopped running. Like he slowed down, and then he tried to run again. They're not helping Lamar out. And then when Lamar corrects the mistakes that we think he's making, they drop the ball. These guys are non-existent. You think you can count on Devin Duvernay? He's good for a couple catches a game. But we can't depend on these guys. So going forward, it's just probably going to be an F the rest of the season. Somebody's going to have a decent game, but they're still going to be who they are. Except for Deshaun Jackson. His 4 plays a game, he's going to make them count.
Yes. Yes.
Mike?
Man, Deshaun Jackson, the best wide receiver on this team. Y'all better watch it. Y'all better watch how y'all talking about that.
And that's sad. He can't even play 2 quarters.
Listen, I think Deshaun, and I think to our point that we spoke about ad nauseum on this telecast and on this show, like he showed what it looks like to have a wide receiver that can make a play, even though it was difficult, right? Like it took everything out of him, like B and Jose said. But when they needed a play, he made a play. He went and got the ball, and that's what you need. That's called a playmaker, right? Unfortunately, we like to go get them when they get 35 plus, and we can only get so much out of them. He's just showing right there that if Lamar had something of that caliber, that those so-called overthrows that we talk about, man, they'll disappear because they'll make a play. Rock just spoke about how George Pickens made a play, right? On a bad pass from Pickens, right? But he went and got the ball. He high pointed the ball. He made a play on the ball. We don't have wide receivers with that ability. And for whatever reason, that's just not what we have. This group, we've always said this, man. And if y'all go back to the first roundtable, we've talked about this. And this tends to come up every week. We just don't have it at that. We just don't have it in that room. And it's not gonna happen. Everybody's hoping for OBJ. I don't see it happening, right? I don't really see it happening, but we just don't have that type of quality in that room right now, and it's gonna keep looking bad, unfortunately.
Chris?
Yeah, the only way we get an OBJ is if he switches to cornerback. That seems like the only way they will reach out and go get him. But yeah, there is a clear lack of talent. They trust their guys, but where has that gotten them? As far as this passing game is concerned, we need guys to elevate it. It's not lay Lamar. You go do everything, and I understand Lamar. He's had some misses. Every quarterback has misses, but what you want are guys who can also take the pressure and that lens that defenses have, take that off of Lamar. You don't want defenses to key in on just Lamar and then show no respect. Coach, I think in the clip that you put out, where the DBs, they don't even flinch because Prochet is out there. They don't even flinch. But if you put someone like, let's just say D-Jax, if he's healthy and young, hamstrings intact, if you put him out there, you get those DBs to back up just a little bit. But you don't have guys there who could do that. Demarcus Robinson, great game last week. This week drops a touchdown. Like it's like he headbutted the football in the end zone. Like he didn't even want to catch it. So yeah,
that was his tribute to the World Cup.
Right. Yeah, man, they need better, and you know, it's week 12 and going into week 13. I don't see it getting any better. I mean, it's not looking good for this group.
Yeah, my take on it, I agree with you all. It was bad. If Lamar misses passes, we can't have drops. And if Lamar hits his passes, no, I said that wrong. If Lamar misses bunnies, you can't have drops. And if Lamar don't miss bunnies, either way it go, you can't have both. You can't have him missing passes and drops because it turns out to what you saw yesterday. That the man was whatever it was, he was 50% throwing, and he should have been right around 75 with all them drops. And I don't think he missed, but maybe like 2 throws, maybe 3. But the obvious one was that one early in the game because that probably would have been a touchdown. He didn't play bad to me, but we'll get to him in a minute. But as far as the pass catchers, F. Yeah, even though we had 200-some yards passing, the F. Let me get to Jerry. Jerry dropped 2 super chats. He got a $20 one right here. It says, I've been a Ravens fan since 2000. So just like y'all seen almost all the QBs that came through Baltimore, and Lamar is the best QB we ever had. I think people forget that early Joe Flacco years, he was not an accurate passer. Yeah, I think even though Joe won the Super Bowl, I think Lamar is the most talented QB to come through Baltimore.
True.
Joe Flacco won the Super Bowl. He had some groceries. But after they paid Joe Flacco, Joe ain't getting no groceries.
And those early years, a lot of people have revisionist history with Joe. He wasn't asked to carry those teams. He was asked to not make mistakes in those early years. Now in the Super Bowl, he went bonkers. But I mean, the playoffs, he went bonkers. But he was not asked to carry those early teams.
But that was the joke about calling Joe Flacco elite because he beginning that season he said on a radio show that he believed he was an elite quarterback. Of course, he wasn't, right? And you know everybody mocked him all year, and then he played like that in the playoffs, and then there was just a running joke: Joe Flacco elite. He was never an elite quarterback though.
True. Jimmy Benjamin says, it's bad if our one is a 300-pound fullback playmaker. And Brandon got another one. Let me get to it. He said, that being said, I'm a Lamar fan because I see what he's up against. Like you guys have said, if we fumble the bag with Lamar, we deserve whatever we get. Jimmy Clausen, Matt Schwab, like QBs. And 100% agree. 100% agree.
To Chris's point, man, every quarterback prior to Lamar, their only job was not to fumble, not to mess up the game, right? Don't turn the ball over, just manage the game. Everything is on this kid's shoulder. He's by far the best quarterback we've had that come through this town. By far, the most talented. He's one of the most talented players we've ever had in on that team, no question. So it's a different style, different, the way things are going now, but it's all on his shoulders, right? And as a wise man once said, all the groceries is on the defense, right?
Yeah.
That's
Coach. A wise man. That a genius.
All the groceries over there, so that's what we expect to win the game. So,
true.
So
let's make our way around this red ring around the lunch meat and go home. So you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
To the O-line. O-line play. We'll start with, let's see, Jose.
There's always some pre-snap penalties. That's what's killing me. And I every week I find myself saying this. I don't know if I should put it all on them or the coaching staff because they deserve some blame here as well, right? They're never prepared, but they're the ones getting these penalties. They didn't get the run game going, and that is supposed to be our bread and butter. So I'm gonna have to give them a D. Now the pass protection, people are like, they gave Lamar all the time in the world to throw the ball. At times, some of that stuff he created for himself.
I will say this: when I did my little preview before the game, the Jaguars don't get a lot of sacks. No. So that that I don't know if that says I don't want to give the O-line no extra because they didn't give up a lot of sacks, but they don't give up a lot of they don't get a lot of sacks anyway.
Yeah. I give them a D. Like what they needed to do was open some holes for the running backs, push the line when they needed to, especially down there in the red zone. But they didn't do that. Protecting Lamar, I'll always give you some credit for that. But I mean, it wasn't great either. So yeah, D overall.
Chris?
Yeah, they couldn't really get any bodies moving in the run game again. You know, we saw that last week against the Panthers. So, and it was the same thing this week where they just couldn't get it going. And like you guys said, you know, as far as pass protection, that was on point. But the bread and butter of this team is to run the ball. You run the ball, and that opens everything else up. And that didn't happen. So, and then like with the pre-snap penalties, like Jose said, it's difficult to put that on the offensive line because they're not getting the plays called up and they're not getting to the line. You know, Linderbaum is a rookie. He's got to scan the defense and see what's going on with the defense and call out the protections. And especially if you're on the road and you're trying to do a silent count, that's a lot to ask of a rookie on the road, and you got 4 seconds on the play clock. Like that's a lot. So you're kind of hampering your offensive line as well. Not only just the quarterback, but your offensive line too, because they can't scan and call out the protections like they would normally do if they actually had time on the clock.
Right. B.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a D. You know, they're not going to get higher than that for me until they have a complete game. You know, every week it's either the run game's clicking or they're protecting Lamar. They can never do both. I agree with Chris. You know that the pre-snap penalties, or you know, a good portion of them are on the coaching staff. The coaching staff doesn't have them prepared. But yeah, I mean, if you can't get the run game going and protect your quarterback at the same time, then you're not a good O-line. So it is what it is.
Mikey?
I'm not as hard on them this week as my counterparts here. I think they were solid, man. I give them a solid C plus. I think the running game seemed to be solid early on in the game. The game plan seemed to be heavy pass this week. I think they went heavy Gus. We didn't see a lot of Drake, who has been solid. You know, I think he might have 2 carries, maybe 1 or 2 carries.
2 carries.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the game plan kind of, you know, didn't allow them to get going and get the running game going like it could have. I think if they would have focused there a little more, we probably would have seen a little bit of a better input on the running game. So yeah, I'm not as hard on them. Even my man or our man Morgan Moses seemed to be riled up, ready to. I don't know what he was mad about. I know he ended up with his helmet off, so he was in there ready to scrap. So I'll take that. I heard it was because, you know, somebody hit Lamar or whatever, and that's why. So I look, protect your man at all costs. No doubt about that. So yeah, man, I think they were all right this week.
You know.
All right, I'm gonna split the difference. I'm gonna give them a C minus. They were pretty decent in pass blocking. You know, Rodney stole my thunder, and I've been saying this from the beginning. They can never do both well at the same time. Pass blocking was decent. You know, some of the penalties, it's going to be a bit much. But run blocking, aside from Lamar's 89 yards, they had 21 rushes for 73 yards. It's not really good to me. They can do a lot better. I'm not sold on Morgan Moses. I heard what the fight was actually about was Trayvon Walker, the number 1 overall pick. Mm-hmm. He whispered in his ear, "Fa'alele season is coming," and he got mad. I don't know what that was all about, but he got mad.
So I wanted to address this comment. That's why I left it up there. It says Greg Roman needs to be on the sideline, not in the press box. There is no offensive coordinator in the history of football that wants or needs to be on the sideline. The the way you see the game from the top and the way you need to see the game to call an effective game. I'm not saying he call effective games. You gotta be in the box. You gotta be in the box. And y'all say I got story for everything, but I do. We lost the guy that I had signaling in our plays, so I had to come out the box and be on the sideline. My vision was not nearly close to what it needed to be when I was up in the box. That angle to be able to see, everything was going on, see if the depth of linebackers are at, or the safeties, or to see if it's one high, too high, that you can change. You can't do that fast from the sideline. So I know he ain't doing a great job in our eyes, but this one thing, he got to stay in that press box. You just got to. Now, defensively, you can do that. Defense coordinators can do that because that's a different feel for the game, and defense coordinators normally are more an emotional, rah-rah guys. So they kind of need to be on the sideline, but
yeah, which is why Mike McDonald could go in the box too, because he's not that guy. And what's Greg Roman going to do on the sideline? What do you guys? What do you want Greg Roman on the sideline for? What's he going to say to anybody?
Right? You really want to see Lamar go off then?
Right, right. They need distance between each other.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, let's move on to this next one. Oh, okay. Yeah, this might be good. Running backs. Got a picture of Gus up there. Gus had 16 carries, fresh off of not playing a week before. Ken Drake had 2. I'm going to start with you, Hendo. Running backs.
Running backs, they get a D. Like I said, 21 rushes, 73 yards. But more importantly, when the game was on the line, and my man, you said it on your stream, Coach. You was like, hey, when Duvernay came out the end zone, you like, I feel it coming. And the very next play, Gus fumbled the ball at the 6-yard line, and that kind of set the wheels in motion. So I'm going to give him a D. Like, they ran hard, but secure the ball, especially late in the game, and they just didn't do enough for me. Lamar had to carry that group once again.
B?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him an F. There's only one running back to speak of, really. Kenyon Drake. No, Kenyon Drake didn't play much. Or he only got the 2 carries. He did have at least 1 drop in the pass game, but it was all Gus, right? And look, I'm lower on Gus generally speaking than I think every Ravens fan on the planet because he's just a guy. But you can't go out there running for barely over 3 yards a carry and fumble the ball in the fourth quarter with the game on the line. So it's an F.
True. Not Hendo. Mikey.
Man, as B said, Marco G saying it in the chat, man, that fumble hurt, right? And I don't care if the running back. I don't care if Gus had a $110. You fumble in a moment like that, man, it lowers your grade, right? So, I think he looked okay for somebody who hadn't played in a couple weeks. He looked strong. He was typical Gus falling forward, and that's what we used to seeing with him. I think the game plan, as I said before, was a little off-putting for me. I would have liked to see them go to that a little more, man, and getting Drake a little more carries. But yeah, man, the fumble, it just can't. We can't have it right there, Gus. And it had the feel of something like that. I guess, like you said, you kind of felt it too, Coach. It just had that feel that something was going to happen to us right there, and then bam, it happened. So yeah, man. The fumble, that's a D for me.
Jose?
Yeah, D. I would have given him an F. I'll give him a D just because I like that extra effort that Gus had at the goal line there to get to cross the ball across the goal line. That's the one good thing I'll say about the run game. There's nothing else to talk about, really. Yes, Gus is coming back from injury, but this is a common thing with this team, right? I don't want to hear the excuse anymore. If you're on the field, man, you better perform. Like, we're getting late in the season now, and if you're not ready to play, don't take the field, all right? Otherwise, no excuses. This run game is not looking good, and this is what we're trying to win a Super Bowl off of, our run game and our defense, and nothing's going right now. So they get a D, and I have more words for the defense when we get there.
3.3 yards per carry for Gus. That's not what he does. He's a 5+ downhill guy, and if he can't get us 5+ with his lack of explosion, He don't need to be in there. But if he getting us 5, 4.5, 5, we good. The thing is, the O-line, he needs the O-line too.
Yes.
He needs the O-line. He needs the O-line to let him get his team going. So when he gets tackled, he can fall forward 3 or 4 yards. When they hit him in the backfield, he ain't no good right there. But so Gus is very O-line dependent.
We're seeing the difference between a Hall of Fame interior O-lineman and Ben Powers. This is the difference right here. When you want when you're not quite sure what those guys do in the middle, this is what they do.
Yeah, they make you believe Gus was worth the $3 million.
Yes, and Jacksonville. Listen, Jacksonville was the 23rd ranked defense in the league.
Yep.
And we could, that just tells you what our O-line is right now. But y'all believe that Morgan Moses was that key. And where's Ben Cleveland?
He hunting bears with Wolf.
He eating squirrels. He eats squirrels.
It's got to be a tough guy.
Go ahead, Chris.
I give it an F. You can't fumble the game away. Doesn't matter what you did before that. In that spot on that side of the field, you can't do it, and it hurts my heart because I like Gus. I think Gus is a good back, but you can't do it. You're the reliable vet. The guy with the most tenure in that running back room, and for situations like that, you should be somebody that the Ravens can trust and lean on and be able to bleed the clock out. And for him to give up that fumble there, it was surprising because we never see Gus lose a fumble like that. Like he's short-handed all the time, but yesterday it came at one of the worst times. So yeah, I got to give it an F.
Hey, I'm with you. 3.3 carries. You gotta be better than that. Got to be. And I look at our run game as running backs aside from Lamar. Because if you always throw Lamar numbers in there, it makes our running game look better than it is. So I've started taking Lamar runs out when I evaluate our run game. Because what Lamar does for the run game, everybody can't do that. That's nuts. Why are they showing our game again? Get this crap off TV.
They got you.
And I'm finna get off topic for a minute.
Okay.
Somebody please explain to me how that touchdown was a touchdown.
Because the rule is you either have to have 2 feet in or a different part of your body. So like they count like your ankle, your ankle, your shin, your calf. That's a different part of your body. It's almost like a knee.
One buttock.
So from the same leg?
Yes.
Yes. As long as it's one part, one full part. If it touches, I don't know how you can have 2 feet equal one part, but that's just the rule.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. All right. So Money Making Mitch dropped a 20. He said, "My favorite Ravens YouTubers, y'all always keep it real and hold people accountable instead of sugarcoating. That's the goal.
Yes, sir.
That's the whole goal of this, to give you honest,
Filtered,
EDing opinion. No EDing around here. or DR, none of that.
We touch dirt.
Right.
All right, let's move on to, let's see who's next. Who's next? Our guy's next. Quarterback. Who wants to start there?
I'm going to start. I gave Lamar a B- for this game. He had the fumble, and granted, it was on a 4th down. It didn't look like they got it anyway, but still, you need to take care of the ball. So he turned it over there, and he did have a couple of missed throws. I agree with Hendo. I think Demarcus Robinson kind of quit running on that early pass because you can see him try to speed up right at the end to catch up to the ball, but he even though he made no attempt to actually catch it, Lamar could have thrown a better ball there. He could have thrown a better ball. The Devin Duvernay pass. I watched it again before we came on, and I'm not even sure if he was trying to throw it to Duvernay because that ball was going nowhere near. It wasn't even going in the direction that Duvernay was running. So I don't know what that was. It was either a terrible pass or he was trying to throw it away and it was a terrible decision to throw it away in the middle of the field. So that was bad. That was awful.
Could it be C, the wrong route? Like somebody mentioned earlier?
I suppose it could be, but I don't know. So I'm just going off of Devin seemed pretty confident where he was running. so I don't know. Outside of that, Lamar did what he needed to do. He carried the run game. He made all his other throws. And the most important part, because this is going to come up again in a minute, when they needed to move the ball and score points, they moved the ball and scored points. He put them in position to win the game, and that's what matters.
True. Endo?
I'm going to give Lamar a B+. Like you said, listen, some of those missed throws weren't on Lamar. It's on the receivers, and you can clearly tell, like DeMarcus, when he slowed down and sped up, like, he throwed it to me. Like, he had to catch up to it. So he had 16 incompletions. Half of those incompletions were drops. Maybe 3 were wrong routes run. So he technically missed on 5 throws. Late in the game, he came through, took us down to take the lead, got 2-point conversion. He also led the team in rushing. Lamar's doing everything that we ask of him as a player, not just a QB. He leads this team. And I just think some people take him for granted and like to point out his flaws, but never give him his flowers for what he's actually doing for this organization.
Yeah, true. And I talk about the missed throw, but I also go back and say, like, some of those balls that he threw yesterday were in the top 5 throws of his career, and they were dropped, or past defender or whatever. He made some throws yesterday that were freaking nuts. But you got to get good with the bad. That's what I'm gonna give the good and the bad. Let's go. It's on you, Mike.
Man, I believe he had 350 total yards. Right, so like it's hard to be mad at a guy who had 350 total yards, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? He did miss some passes. You know what I mean? Y'all already touched on. We like to see him make those throws on 100%, right? No doubt about it. We like to see him make those throws, and some of those ones he has to make, right? We need him to make it, no doubt about it. But then it always goes back to me, like, if he ain't on the field, what we gonna look like, right? So
right.
it is hard unless he has a total horrible game and he makes a play or two that causes us to lose the game. It's hard for me to give Lamar below a B, because it like B said, he made plays to he scored. He gave us points to win the game. He put us up 7 with 2 minutes left, right? You know what I mean? So whenever we needed him, he was there. So B for me. I know they try to say we cape for Lamar, whatever. Look, yeah, we've all said he got to make some throws, right? There are some missed throws that we need him to make. But you cannot say, and I want to get this out of here now, you cannot say Lamar needs to make those throws, but not say those wide receivers are okay with dropping the ball. You cannot say that.
Thanks.
So it got to be, they either got to go hand in hand, but you can't have one or the other. So I just want to get that out of the way for those, because you're going to have some people that watch this later and be like, y'all protect Lamar. Nah, man, we said it, right? But let's get the other side out there too.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, just what you guys said, like, he, those layup throws, he has to hit those. But at the same time, if he's making an incredible throw, you got to catch it. You guys got to catch that. Like, that's your job. Your job is to catch the ball. And more times than not, Lamar is putting the ball where it needs to be. I mean, you watch Mahomes throw. Mahomes is going to have some misses. Josh Allen's going to have some misses. It's no different for Lamar. He's not going to be perfect. That's impossible for a quarterback or any player to be perfect. But the fact is that, like you guys said, when they needed him the most, he played his best football. And he put the team on his back. And we saw him do stuff that it's like, all right, I'm just taking this into my hands. Like, I'm not even worried about my body right now. I'm going to, take this impact like a running back right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't see Lamar do that. Only in crunch time we see Lamar do that. And yesterday he was like, I'm running up in this in this gap right now, and I don't care who's in there. I'm going to get this first down. And you know, people, the Lamar haters, they could say what they want, but that looks like a dude that wants to win the game. That looks like a dude who wants to put everything out on the line in order to give his team the lead. So, it was tough, tough on the offense. And I know we'll get to that later on as far as the offense as a whole and the coordinator. But, Lamar needs help, man. Lamar can't do it all himself.
True. Say?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna give him a B overall. Actually, I'm gonna give him like a B plus. Like, it's hard to grade him when you have so much chaos going on around him, right? Like, it's not a good scheme. Like the run game, he is the run game. That's the other thing that I have to also tell myself when I give him these grades. When we say, hey, he's got to make some better passes. Usually, when we say he's got to make better passes, it's one or two passes that we're talking about, right? But we're also not talking about the run game. He is the run game, right? We grade the running backs, and the running backs are getting low grades every week, but the rushing stats are there because of Lamar. So we got to factor that into his overall grade, that he is making the offense move down the field. He's the only reason we're getting down the field, whether it's with his feet or with his arm. He's got to make things happen. And when you have 8 to 10 drops in the game, my word, you know what I'm saying? He still finished with 250 yards passing. I think he did a pretty damn good job. Yes, his only fault is he can't catch the balls for the receivers and tight ends, right? That's the main thing. Yes, right. a couple of passes are going to be off, but that's for every single quarterback in the league. You're going to have that. So, no, it wasn't perfect. Yes, I mean there might be a couple of things he could have done differently, and it's hard to say. Like some of those passes, because he doesn't have great wide receivers, we don't even know if it was truly on him, or receivers are running the wrong routes, or if they could have done more. It's just so many question marks there that we wouldn't question if he had better receivers out there.
True.
So just on the safe side, I'll say B plus.
And I give him the same grade because he did a lot. He's asked to do a lot. He's asked to do more than any quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He's asked to carry the team through the air and on the ground. And for some reason, they don't see the worth in that. For some reason, the people that got to pay him don't see the worth in it. But I left this comment up there. He says, thank you, run the ball. The past 2 games have been about passing from the start. What is that about? The reason I left it up there because what I noticed watching yesterday, the first 3 plays I think I saw were passes, and Ricard was in the game. I think Roman was trying to break the tendency because we all say it. We've all said it. When Ricard's in the game, it's a run. So we put Drewski in motion, threw the ball. Put him in motion again, threw the ball. I think he was just trying to break tendencies. Nothing came out of it. We run through these super chats too because a run of them just came through. Marco G dropped 5. And what's going on? Can't get hurt at all. Stuck. Did we break the stream? There it is. All right, there we go. G-roll play call termination is more complex than the actual plays themselves. His play call is a whole Harry Potter series. for basically a Dr. Seuss play.
Well said.
Hey, that's a complex joke that's right on point.
Yeah.
Right on point. Got another one from Isaac M11. He says that the left game penalties and snapping at 0 are a major factor holding the offense back. It makes Lamar's margin of error nearly 0. 100% agree. We got to do something. And John addressed it at the press conference that they tried to do better in the second half. That happened early in the third quarter. By the end of the third, back in the fourth, we was pushing that time again. So I don't know what is going on with the long play calls or what, but it is. I think it's hurting the offense. It doesn't give Lamar a chance to assess the situation and even change the play if he need to.
But coach,
Lamar, go ahead.
I'm sorry. We had the same press conference about 6 or 7 games ago when we had an issue with the play calling and the time clock, and he was like, "We got to do better. We're going to get better. We're going to change something." Like, it's a broken record, and people keep falling for it. Like, we're going to do it. Like, how can you grade Lamar and comment and say, "Oh, Lamar doesn't audible. Lamar doesn't do this." How does he have time to audible? When does he get time to scan the field to see what the linebackers are doing, to see who's blitzing and who's not? When does he get the opportunity to do that, to switch the plays? Because the play call comes in, he's sitting there screaming like, "Yo, bring the play in. Up 6 seconds left on the clock. Now I gotta hike the ball regardless."
It's crazy how late they get their operations going. It's like he finally gets to a point where a quarterback can look at the whole situation and assess it, and it's 2 seconds left. So now you just gotta clap it and snap it.
Yeah. Right.
So Jose, he won't break his hands one of these days.
And what game was it earlier in the year? I think might have been the Jets in the second half game where he was actually getting to the line and making calls and switching the plays up, and it was just seamless. It was seamless, and so that's gone away.
And then
I noticed that he don't audible a lot because he don't have time.
Yeah,
how can he?
True. Keelan says Lamar threw a 62-yard rope, not a rainbow to Deshaun, and it's not being talked about enough. It's not being talked about. That was a top 5 from any QB this season that has no hype. I agree, Keelan. That was a dime.
Yeah.
And that's why Mike said you can't talk about him. Like I can't talk about him missing bunnies and not talk about the good part too. I try to do both. I try not to be exclusively negative and exclusively positive. I try to float that middle line. But I agree. And I think we all agree that was a dime. Yeah, he had some great goals this game.
But the thing is, people aren't going to talk about it when you lose.
Yep.
Y'all remember the Justin Jefferson catch against Buffalo? Stephon Diggs had an amazing catch in that game too. Nobody talked about it because they lost.
Yeah. And actually, they said it traveled 63 yards in the air, even though it was a 62-yard completion. So it was he put that thing up there.
It's funny, with the one wide receiver who can play on an NFL level. The deep ball didn't have any problem.
Right.
Marcus and Devin and them, it's 8 yards off.
Is he the new wide receiver one now?
Nah. You can't be wide receiver one doing 6 plays a game.
He played 10, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But those are our wide receivers. Who plays more than that?
But then again, you know what?
Yeah, record.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say that for coaching.
One more. Jay Miller dropped 2. Says Lamar threw a dime to Mark and he dropped it. Sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did.
That's y'all number one. Y'all number one in the league tight end.
That was last year. So statistically, tell me if you hear a lie in this next sentence. Tell me.
So
statistically,
right,
he was the best tight end in the league last year.
Yes.
So if statistically Matt Ryan has a better year than Patrick Mahomes, statistically, is he still a better quarterback?
Well, we know that ain't happening, though.
I'm just saying.
You're hypothetical.
I get the hype, man. Look, he's our tight end. He had the best year for tight ends. We're gonna hype him up. I totally understand that.
I can understand hyping him up, but saying, "Oh, he's so much better than Kelsey," and
he's not.
I never said he was better than
not
Kelsey.
You, coach. Not you, coach.
My bad. But I do have a new wide receiver tier list that I don't mind sharing with y'all.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's Travis Kelce.
Okay.
It's Andrews and Kittle. Then it's everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to try to lump them together, like Kelce, Kittle, Andrews, Waller.
Waller.
He's hurt too much.
Yeah,
you really gonna leave?
Kelce is a different beast.
Are you gonna say Pitts? Are you gonna say Pitts?
No, you really gonna leave out Isaiah Likely?
I think Dallas Goedert will be up there pretty soon too.
That's what I'm saying. It's Kelce, and Andrews may start to fall in everybody else if he keep having days like yesterday.
Wait till the playoffs. He'll show you during playoffs.
If Kittle could stay healthy, because Kittle just plays so reckless.
Yeah.
If Kittle could stay healthy, he'd be right up under Kelce. But Kelce just
he's always blocking too. He's always blocking. Like they don't if they put him in a wide open offense like Kelce is, Kittle will put up ridiculous numbers. But he's such a good blocker that he's like a 6 offensive lineman.
Yeah. Coach, I want to ask you something because you brought this point about Owe, how you think he bulked up too much, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think maybe Andrews bulked up too much? Andrews is huge. Do you think maybe he bulked up a little too much because obviously he can't block, right? He's not a blocker. Like you don't need to bulk up that much. Maybe he should get a little bit leaner so he can, be a little bit more flexible out there.
I will say this. Yeah. He can't move like Likely.
All right.
True.
Like the way Likely can juke people and he can't move like that because he's maybe too bulky. Maybe. So you may have a point. But I know he don't have no on people. He can stiff on you, maybe run over you. But Likely can do that, both of that and make you miss.
I mean, I was making a comparison to Travis Kelce. Obviously, he's not that, but what Travis Kelce does out there, man,
Kelce he can make you miss. He can run over you. He can jump over your head. Did you see the fake he put on Derwin James?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Bro. What? It's great. Let's keep going because I think we're going to the dark side now. I think we're going to the. So I do want to say this. Yesterday, I keep talking about the offense having all the groceries. I mean, the defense having all the groceries. I said the offense was a bologna sandwich with the good bread. You are looking at the good bread. That's Lamar. Your pretzel bread, your Hawaiian rolls, whatever your good bread is, that's Lamar. Everybody else, bologna sandwich with the ring around. Not he. Cold bologna.
Not bubbling up in the middle.
That was the Pac-Man cut,
right?
Not yet. Maybe we win a game, we get the Pac-Man cut, but we're gonna go to defense right after this. Because Antoinette came through. She said, "Coach DJ can have my hamstrings if it would help our team."
That sacrifice right there.
That's teamwork right there.
That's the comment. That's the comment of the night right there.
I appreciate it. She always come through. They go to a lot. Her and her family go to a lot of games. I don't know if they went to this one in Jacksonville, but they go to home and away games, and she always supports the channel. And so I just want to say, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Salute.
So let's go on over to the dark side. Outside linebacker. So first of all, we got rules for outside linebacker conversation today.
What's the rules, Coach?
Don't mention 99.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We talk about everybody else but 99. We're not mentioning him.
Yes.
So outside linebackers. Start us off, Mike.
I mean, look. I'll say this, man. After I looked at the snap count,
right,
I saw that Houston didn't play. Like JPP played, I think it was 10 more snaps than Houston, and I don't know. And then I kind of mentioned you yesterday, Coach, when we were on. You might have dropped out of the stream, but I was like, Coach, man, if you still there, man, look at that last drive and please tell me who were the two pass rushers on the field at the end of the game. I thought I seen JPP and somebody that you don't want us to mention, which didn't make sense if they were your two pass rushers at that point in time. Why we didn't call a timeout to get the guys we want on the field, I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's who I thought I seen the most out there was those two, right?
I didn't see the comment because I was made it up because of my foot. So by the time y'all came on, I was in there early and I actually went to sleep watching the stream. But they were out there. The unnamed guy was out there.
Yeah. So I mean, Houston, was balling. He seems to be tripping down the hill a little bit. Bowser made a few plays. I'm happy to see that he seems to be rounding into shape. But they didn't do all that I thought they should do. I don't know what's the numbers. How many sacks did they have yesterday?
No, I don't even know. The edge rushers didn't have any sacks.
Bowser had
the forced fumble.
Which was a good play.
So Bowser looked well. I mean, looking at you got a tackle from Houston. That's about it, man. So kind of a lackluster day for the outside, man. But I hopefully Bowser keep getting better. My hope and prayers for this group was that when we got Bowser back, it would start to create a healthy rotation. And it just seemed by looking at the snap count, they kind of got away from that this game for some reason. So hopefully they get back into that rotation, getting Houston in there more often, get JPP out of there not as much, and then keeping those guys fresh so that we can keep attacking the quarterback. So D minus for me.
All right, Hendo.
What is that left to say? They get a D, and they only get a D because of Tyus Bowser. I will say he has been the one addition from injury that has energized this team, because Justin Houston, he can only give you so much. Like he expended all his energy early in the season, getting all those sacks. Now he's just recuperating for the playoff push. He who will not be named. He's just there to take up snaps. He gives people rest breaks. But overall, very disappointing. I guess we have to wait for Njadbo to come and see what he can do, because right now we're not getting much from them against horrible teams.
I hope Ojabo comes with some vibranium.
Njadbo.
Yes.
Everybody putting all this stock in Ojabo. He got to be
the man.
The Black Panther son.
Don't give it away, Coach.
This is what a thirsty fan base looks like. Okay.
Yeah.
You're just hoping everybody looks good to you.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead, Jose.
D minus. All right. And same thing that Mikey and Hendo said. Tyus Bowser is the only reason. He's the only reason I can even identify anybody out there. Right. I literally did not remember seeing anybody outside of Bowser playing. All right. And at least he played well enough to get them a D minus. The rest of them, I mean, look, the guy we're not going to name, he ain't the only one. Like, I didn't see anybody.
Yeah,
they were all erased. So,
yep.
Yes, D minus. There's not much to say.
Do the Jags have good tackles? We just was MIA on the edge.
Cam Robinson.
Am I?
He's all right.
They're okay.
I think they're just enjoying the good weather. They got the cold. They're like, man, we had some good turkey. This weather is nice. We're just chilling today.
Big Red, you're not going to do that this week. You're not going to do that this week.
I can't come off the super. Let me get the super chat so I can put ratings up there.
Oh no, don't do it. Don't put it up.
YNG Brew donated 20, says it's hard watching this team. Reminds me of when we had Steve McNair. Salute. Alcorn State legend, baby.
Yes, indeed.
As the QB, and they are not trying to help Lamar. Broken record, I know. Because when Steve was there, a lot was put on Steve's plate too. Mm-hmm. Even though he had a better defense, but a lot was put on Steve's plate also. Where Reg at?
Don't put it up. No. You people are the worst.
Reg don't have any chill. Any chill. B.
Look, they get an F. And spoiler alert, every unit on the defense gets an F.
Thank you, B. Thank you.
I agree. I agree for the most part what Mike, Hendo, and Jose said. But listen, I don't care what you did. You played 3/4 of a game. It don't matter. You all get F minuses.
Wow.
Chris,
that's it.
He said it best. I don't care what you do in the first half of the game. I don't care what you do in the first 3/4 of a game. If you give up those leads and you let Zay Jones and Trevor Lawrence dice you up like that, and you got this incredible defense. I understand Kyle Hamilton is out. I understand Marcus Williams is out. This defense is still, on paper, one of the most talented defenses in the league, on paper. So that is no excuse to be getting torched and getting dog walked down the field by a team that has Zay Jones, Christian Kirk on their roster. Like, this is not the Bengals with Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd and Higgins. No disrespect to those dudes on the Jaguars, but come on now. Like, it's just that can't happen, man. That cannot happen.
Chris, I looked this up earlier while I was at work, not working. That was Zay Jones' best game ever
in his life.
His career.
I think his second best one was against us. He was with the Raiders.
I thought so, but it wasn't. He only had 2 catches that game. He had 2 catches for like 46 yards, even though the last one was like 43.
I know this is Trevor Lawrence.
I thought that too, though.
Yeah. But this one of Trevor Lawrence's best games too?
I think so. I didn't look that up. I did look up Zay Jones though.
Of the season. Yes, it was one of his best games, and it's kind of sad that this defense that we claimed in the beginning was supposed to be top 5 is giving different people around the league career games all season long.
Yeah, I know Jermichael Hasty had 37 career receptions before he saw Baltimore. I mean, he stayed one of them in the end zone.
First career touchdown.
But then he met Marcus Peters. And sort of met Chuck Clark. You know, he saw him on the way by, but he didn't get an introduction to Chuck. No, this is all bad.
Hey, this is the perfect comment. They had a Madden breakout game
for every position.
They went from star to superstar because they played the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see, Mike. I think I didn't get you on this one. It's your turn.
Yeah, I started off on the OL.
I got everybody. Okay, just trying to make sure I don't do like I did beat every. That's still 100. I'm still 100. So let's move on. Move on. D-line. I'm gonna start with this one because I ain't been saying much. I've been really surprised with Washington. Really surprised with Broderick Washington.
Yep.
Calais giving us what he can at his age.
Thanks.
We need more for we need more from Travis. We need Matabike had been the most consistent, but we need more because he's the next guy. Matabike is. We need more. We need more from Travis. We need more from Matabike. And Washington, I'm impressed with. Calais, again, limited snaps, do what he do. There's a name I'm forgetting. I know it is. Matabike is Travis.
Brent Urban.
Well, okay, no. Then go on. Chris, it's on you, Chris.
Yeah, Calais and Broderick, those were the 2 dudes who, you could highlight here in this group. But still, like B said early on, I'm sorry, you're gonna get an F. You part of this defense that gave up that lead, no interior pressure. That's what you get paid for, especially in those moments. You get paid to rush the passer in those moments. You don't get paid to stop the run in situations like that. You get to pin your ears back and you don't have to worry about it. And, we didn't see that yesterday. And, like I said, my grades for the defense are going to be harsh for this game because your offense gave you the lead. I mean, I get it. The Gus fumble, it put them in a bad spot, obviously, and they held it for 3. But for them to march down the field, that's just unacceptable.
True. B?
Yeah, Broderick Washington played well. Like I said, Calais Campbell was out there still doing his thing at 47 years old. And I think they went out there on that last drive, and Calais got that sack on second down, and he said, we've done our part. And listen, to an extent, that's true, right? You put them in 3rd and long from their own 14-yard line. It's time for the guys who run around to do their thing, right? Yes. Not the big dudes up front, but F. You lost.
Boy, he set me up.
You gave up 2 75-yard touchdown drives in the 4th quarter. It is an F.
Thanks.
Wow.
Jose?
Man, I thought you guys called me harsh. I was going to give him a D-,
right?
Like they. I mean, I thought this was the best unit of the defense. All right. Even at the end there, like to B's point, right? Like yes, you kind of want them to close out. Somebody's got to step up, and if you're the best unit, I guess it's on you. Somebody's got to do it, but they didn't do it. But I'm not going to be as harsh. I'm going to say D- for a very reason because the defense at the end of the day, I don't care what situation you're put in. First of all, you're put in a very great situation. You had the lead, but you have to close out. It's on you. There's higher expectation. So I respect Chris's grade. I respect B's grade for F. I'm gonna show a little mercy today and say D-, but this was the best unit of the defense.
Well, it's funny because they were the best unit,
right?
right?
Beat you to it while you were trying to talk it out.
But yeah, they're the
I'm
best
showing
unit,
mercy.
but they're the least talented unit.
Yes.
This is true.
So
Yes.
All right. Kendo?
I mean, disrespect to Travis Jones right there in the picture, but whatever.
Who?
Oh,
Travis Jones.
Who? I don't know that dude. I've never heard of him.
Mike Jones.
He's still playing in Connecticut, right?
Right. So I was gonna give them a somewhat decent grade, but Chris and B made some very valid points.
Put this back up that
in. Yeah, and Graven, you got it right. That minus, you got it right. I give them an F minus. Aside from Calais and Broderick, B said it best. Chris said it best. You had nothing but to pin your ears back. We were beating them by 9 points late in the fourth quarter. So, of course, we knew they had to pass the ball. They gave up a 14-play, 79-yard drive and a 10-play, 80-yard drive with 6 minutes left in the game. And all you had to do was get the quarterback, and you failed to do so. Now, I'm giving you all this money and all this talent, and you can't stop them not one time. Yeah, you're getting an F minus.
Hey, Mike, it's on you. Hey, if you don't give him an F, you got to give up the lone wolf like on Countdown.
Come on, bring that average up, Mike.
Let me bring the average up. Let me be the one to bring the average up. I get his group a C plus.
Plus?
Can we get the lone wolf?
So let me tell you why. Right, 2 of our 4 sacks came from the inside guys. Yes. Right, Broderick, Calais. And I think Calais is looking like, again, he is looking like the person that's benefiting from this rotation. Right, he's looking fresh. Calais had 3 quarterback hits. Right, so that inside, I feel like the inside guys were doing well. Now, what was going on outside around those guys doing that? Those long drives that we gave up. I can't put it on my inside guys. I think Broderick, I think Calais played really, really good. I give him a C plus, man. That's me. I think look, the sacks, 2 of your sacks came from in there. I see you, CJ Scott. Yeah, C plus. Look, let's break it down. Now I agree with my guys on this panel as a whole. The defenses, they get the what.
Yeah.
But if we breaking it down group by group, I think my inside guys played well. That's in my opinion. Calais look. I don't know if he was happy to be home with his former spot or what, but he was flying around there, man. He was making plays. Broderick surprised me. Broderick kind of fell, off the wagon for me. But Chris was saying, man, keep an eye on Broderick a couple weeks ago, and ever since then, Broderick's been playing well. So that's my spiel on why I'm bringing the average up right there.
So Mikey, so if you're the coach today and you tune out the defense, you telling the interior D line, hey, go sit in the other room for a little bit.
Calais and
I gotta go hide these guys real quick.
Calais and Broderick, they get to go next door and start breakfast early.
Wow.
But everybody else, y'all got to get in here.
All right, Chris, did I get you on this one?
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, you get me.
Okay. So let me hit the super chat. Jared dropped another 10. Says, "Don't get me wrong. Respect to Chuck Clark for being a 6th-round pick, being serviceable. That's Garnett's word, serviceable. But I never wanted him on the roster. He's always barbecue chicken and coverage and in college. We gonna get the Chuck. But those are facts. Let's see who's next. Inside linebackers. Starting with you, Mike.
Look, man, I hate to say this. Now, I'm not gonna say Roquan. I'm not gonna say he disappeared because he did make a play. I think he saved a touchdown
against Hasty.
Yeah,
on the screen.
Yeah, but I'm seeing PQ more than I'm seeing 18 out there right now, and I'm happy to see it, right? I don't think that Roquan is playing bad, right? I'll say this, even PQ, I think this was his worst game in the last, I guess, 4 or 5 weeks, right? He's been balling, playing well. I think he didn't play horrible, but I think this was his worst game. I seen him miss a few tackles, overrun a few tackles. You know, he kind of slipped back into the old PQ for a little bit. Overall, I give those two. You know, I'm gonna keep it as a C plus with them, because I don't think they hurt us, but they didn't completely dominate the game like they have been the last couple of weeks.
True. Hendo?
F. Hit F. Listen, Roquan saved that touchdown. PQ. I know everybody giving him credit for playing well, but he's just actually playing average, and we're just happy he's not playing bad.
Average.
So we're giving him credit. We're giving him credit.
I can't give you that one, man.
You
average yesterday. Yesterday.
So you
he was average yesterday.
You telling me for the season he's been playing like a first round pick?
The last 4 games, not the whole season. Not the whole season.
Right. So
not the whole season, no.
So when we measure mediocrity as a Ravens fan base, when we start getting decent play, oh, he balling, he's spitting, he out there doing his thing. Now, granted, he's playing better than he has in the past. I give him that. But as usual, we going back to old tendencies. You know, Brodney said it earlier. James Hasty, he was in the locker room reading a newspaper, and they was like, "Oh, Travis Etienne's out. Come on in here." Couldn't guard him. He just coming out the backfield. They like, "Oh, who is this guy?"
He wasn't on the game
plan. Hey, all you do is got dressed from my class.
Right.
Passing everybody.
So yeah, I mean, they did okay, but for what we were dealing with, and especially the talent level that we were going against, you know, Travis Etienne is one of their best players. After the middle of the first quarter, he's out. You got a guy who hasn't played at all and a dude that's getting his first snaps in the NFL. We just don't. Sometimes we play down to the level of our competition, and I just don't think that we did a very good job on defense at all. So, whoa. So, I'm sorry. Somebody said PQ is having a Pro Bowl level year.
Justin said that.
What year is this? Not this year. Look.
What? And this is devil's advocate. What AFC linebackers are outplaying him? What AFC linebackers? I know there's a couple in the NFC that are freaking balling.
Who's the linebacker for Jacksonville?
Oh man, I can't pronounce his name.
Right,
he went on.
Hey, who did you just pick up, Jose? Oh no, he's in the NFC.
Jack Sanborn, Roquan's replacement.
Yeah, you just picked him up.
Yeah.
I'm saying there ain't a lot of most of the heavy hitter linebackers in the NFC right now.
Yeah.
So he might be playing Pro Bowl football.
I'm pretty sure Roquan just came to the AFC and took his spot though.
How about that?
Probably. You're probably right. You up, Zay?
Yeah. F. I'm giving him an F because this is supposed to be one of our best units. I mean, you got 2 first-round picks out there, right? You got one that we just traded for, and you know we picked him over. Look, actually, both of these guys we picked over offense, right? Because we drafted Patrick Queen over T. Higgins. We
why you gotta
picked
bring
up
that
Roquan.
up?
Yeah, you know, we picked up Roquan in lieu of getting help at wide receiver. So they have to play at a higher level. Average is not good enough. That's a failing grade for this unit. I mean, Roquan had a total of what, 8 tackles. That's just not going to do it. And I wonder, like, did reading the playbook actually mess him up? Because that first week when he didn't know the playbook, he was a monster. Like, did he look at this playbook and be like, I don't get it. I don't get what you're trying to do here.
So what you're saying is, that first week he was still running the Chicago system.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And look, hey, this is all leading up to something, Coach. You see a common theme here with my grades, with the O-line, with QB play, and now the linebackers. Okay, this is all leading up to the end over here. But yes, I'm giving this group a F because I mean they did nothing.
B.
I mean, you know what it is. Like, it's an F.
I still gotta let you say it.
I meant to. I was gonna come in here and ask from the beginning, where's your hero? Where's Roquan at? Because again, 2 75-yard touchdown drives in the fourth quarter. I thought I thought that he was the finishing touch on this Super Bowl defense. Super Bowl defenses don't do that. Where was he at? Did he make any play? I saw Pat Queen out, near the edge getting spun around, but I believe it was Hasty. Maybe it was somebody else. No, it was a definite F, and not an F like the D line got, where I was like, yeah, they've played pretty well, but you're part of this. They are the F.
Nah. I can't agree with you. They did not play well, but they are not the F. The F we hadn't put on the screen yet.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong, Coach. No, they're not the only F. But they are. The rest of them coming.
Okay. Let's check it.
They got one more in that group.
So the good thing I will say about the linebackers are they're playing a lot of snaps together. So hopefully they can learn each other, because their snap count was, I think they both might have played the whole game.
They did, yeah.
We hadn't had that a lot out of linebacker play. We've been running guys in and out, but the fact that they playing the whole game, hopefully they gel. Because they had been playing decent. This game was kind of like a step back to me, but hopefully they gel and get something figured out. But the fact that they playing all the snaps and it ain't just constant rotation, you can kind of know the guy next to you, or hope to know the guy next to you. I like that part of it.
Can I ask something though, real quick though?
Go ahead.
Why do you want them to gel for their one and done playoff run, and then Roquan's a free agent?
I guess that's just the coach in me wanting the best out of the team. I'm taking away the fan part of it. That's me coaching people and wanting to get the best out of them, even if it's for 1 year.
Yeah.
Let me get Hendo back down. Hold on one second. There you go.
It's the weirdest thing. I think Patrick Queen shut my computer down. Never happened before.
At least he shut something down.
He blocked you from my computer. I don't know how.
Oh, yeah. Tricky dude.
Queen, stop that. Let's go to the next one. No. Who I missed with linebackers? I start cracking. Chris, you went to linebackers yet?
No, I didn't go, but you could just copy and paste what B said and just put it on. Because I like people gonna say it's harsh, but no, it's not harsh. Like you were part of this collapse in the fourth quarter. Like this should not happen. Like if you put in all your resources into this defense, what happened yesterday in the fourth quarter should not happen. So you're a part of this unit. You had a major blow, like blown assignment where running back is just running free, like nobody's even around him. That's a blown assignment. I don't know who that's on. We'll see. I just got the all 22, so we're gonna see who we think that's on. But you a part of it. You calling the defense. So that, like B said, man, it's an F.
All right, get everybody with inside linebackers. All right. Let's move on. This guy right here, I would not say much bad about, but the fact that he plays defense, he gonna get drugged down with the rest of them. But this cat has been playing lights out.
Yes.
For me. The rest of them mofos, they the ops. They are the ops. And mainly when I know I'm talking now, but when y'all finish and I talk, my stuff gonna speak on Marlo. Because what he's doing is trash to me. But Hendo, I'll start with you with DBs.
We already set the precedent. It's an F. Like, F for failure. Failure to Jose Jones to be the person that he is. 11 catches, 145 yards.
It's actually Isaiah Jones.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was looking around like, who is Jose Jones?
No, he said to hold Zay Jones.
I said to hold.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't say Jose Jones.
No, I said hold.
Jose Jones too.
I'm sitting there like, wow.
Who is Jose Jones?
No, to hold Zay Jones. 11 catches, 145 yards. Listen, we're supposed to have this top 5 talented defense. And me personally, I don't think Kyle Hamilton was stopping anything that went on. And part of that has to do with the defensive coordinator. My man, MP Juice Man, he's just been getting abused. Like, teams are going after him like nobody's business. And Brandon Stevens, it's just like they're taking turns. It's like quarterbacks are dropping back saying, who we going to go to next? Anybody, you. And we can't stop it. For me, Marlowe, he's been having a decent season, but this last game, he's been, like you said, he's part of that defense that led to the comeback. And then I think, unfortunately, he got hurt in the fourth quarter, and they had to bring in Pepe to kind of man whatever he could till he got back. But overall, defensive backs aren't getting it done. They haven't been getting it done all season. It's just not worth the money.
Let's go, Mike.
Ain't much you can say about this group. I mean, I agree with you, I agree with you, though, Coach. I feel like 44 is balling, and I feel like he's been balling pretty much all season. Definitely as of late, he's been in the zone to me. Now his counterparts back there, MP, that's my guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love Marcus Peters. But we gotta keep it 100, right? There's some I said it before. I don't think he's 100% healthy. I think the mind is there. I just don't think the body is able to react the way that he wants it to. But if that's the case, right, he has to, come to the realization in his own head and say, okay, let me make some adjustments while I'm out here. The only issue with this, right, we don't have anybody else that could that I feel I'd rather have him out there for the one or two plays he's gonna make, because we don't have anybody else out there that can replace him in any capacity, right? So but he getting picked on. He gave up a few plays. That's his aggressive nature, but sometimes he's got to reel it back, and they gotta have a nice talk with MP and let him know, like, look, man, we gotta fix this over here. Clearly they coming at you, so we gotta fix it. Now, I will throw one thing at y'all before I move on. Was this a sign, right, that Kyle Hamilton actually means more to this defense than we want to give him credit for meaning, right? I mean, you seen his replacement, right? Who they went heavy Brandon Stevens, and we seen what happened with that. So he was getting abused as well. So does this mean that Kyle Hamilton is, a key cog in this defense, especially in that secondary?
What I will say is early in what a lot of people don't realize is the Jaguars changed their philosophy. They've said, forget running fullbacks and tight end. They went 10 personnel and say, can y'all guard us? And we couldn't. That's what a lot of people don't realize, that they changed their whole philosophy. They made an adjustment and start doing what they did. And we didn't. They adjusted. They adjusted mid-game when their original plan wasn't working, and found a way to do some stuff. But that's neither here nor there. Zay?
Yeah, F. No surprise there. No, I don't think, to answer Mikey's question, I don't think this is a sign, only because Kyle Hamilton was a part of that 28-point fourth quarter meltdown in
he
Miami.
was the main reason for it.
Right, along with Marcus Williams. I see Marcus Williams' name being thrown around in there too. There is no missing key piece to this defense. What's going on is, what we've been trying to tell y'all, is that you cannot build an NFL team in today's NFL around defense, because they cannot realistically hold teams to 20 or under every single week. They're going to have bad games. They're going to give up some plays, and you got to have a balanced enough team on both sides of the ball if you really want to see them perform. If I don't care how stacked this defense is looking, if that offensive side is giving you absolutely nothing, they're not going to be that defense that's just going to hold a team, right? Like, you're just not going to see that. Every now and then you'll see it happen, but week in, week out, that's not what's going to happen. And yeah, I mean, but they're going to catch it, because this organization from the top down keeps saying, we're going to play hard-nosed defense and we're going to run the ball, and that's how we're going to win. They're, despite in Lamar in the offense to make it happen, they're making a clear point that this is what they want to be. And when you melt down in the fourth quarter, giving up 18 points, and mainly because of this unit. Oh, by the way, Marlo, you go in the other room. You don't need to hear any of this. Marlon Humphrey, you go sit in the other room. This ain't about you.
He
Yeah.
in there with Calais and Broderick. They eating
Right.
MP Juice Man Chuck Clark. Like Chuck Clark is
Stevens.
always, you see, but Chuck Clark is always like, we don't even know if he's every week. It's like, well, I don't know if that was his guy or what. Like, he's so far out of the play every time trying to catch up. What are you supposed to be doing, right? Like either you just have the worst luck or you are just way out of position every time. We hear the term there's miscommunication there that's been happening since last year, right? This is a mess. And Stevens, Pepe Williams, Jalen Armour Davis, like we keep getting these cornerbacks and they're not doing anything. We might as well have just kept Tavon Young. We should have just re-signed Tavon Young for all this. In fact, I think he's still out there. Isn't he a free agent?
I think he hurt again.
Is he hurt?
Yeah, he's on IR.
Yeah,
Surprise.
He'll fit right in.
He got hurt for the season, I think.
Yeah.
Before I move on to B, I'm gonna get the super chat. I had two of them. Still have faith in my boys, but looking ahead, those Steelers games look a little scarier. And if we lose to the Broncos, somebody got to go. No, the realest stuff you ever wrote. Well, you're right. You think so? You think so? I appreciate the
10% juice.
Oh my goodness.
10% juice.
That hurts me to my heart.
But it is so funny.
It's true.
It's so funny. Salute YNG, bro. That's a good one. That's a good one. B, your take on the DBs. Well, first of all, we know they're getting the F, but your commentary is.
I don't appreciate you just trying to jump in and predict it. That's an F- for the DBs. And it's mostly for Marcus. I think he's past it. He was older already and he had a major injury. I just don't think he can come back from it, which is not really on him. That happens. Baltimore's definitely going to be drafting a corner in the first round to rectify that mistake because, why not? Why not keep the defense going, right? But yeah, you got Zay Jones, who's in his 7th year on his 3rd team. You got Christian Kirk, who everybody laughed at when he signed his contract. Because how could he possibly be worth that? And you got Trevor Lawrence, who led the league in interceptions last year, tearing your defense apart. Like they're not even out there. Jermichael Hasty, like I said, having career games, scoring his first receiving touchdown of his career. I mean, he's never going to forget Sunday. But
never.
I mean, and there's been a lot of back and forth today about the defense, whose fault this game was, the defense or the offense. And I see a lot of people saying, the offense is terrible. They got to play better. They left points out there on the field. You can't turn the ball over in these situations. And I'm like, you're sitting here telling me that this offense is awful, which it is, right? They don't have a lot of talent on that offense. And you're saying they played terrible. I mean, they didn't play well.
Talent tends to play terrible.
Yeah, this is true. But then you look up and you see they scored 27 points. So why are you telling me that defense is the way to go if an awful offense can drop 27 on one of the best defenses in the league, allegedly?
Yeah, I don't know if y'all know it now, but I was throwing out a point frame where I think our offense can score 17-23, and they scored that.
Yeah,
they scored it. Defense didn't stop the other team from scoring that. But go ahead, Chris.
I'm gonna give them an A. I had to switch it up a little bit because I'm real negative today, man. But that's just how they have me feeling, man. It's like, I mean, we've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. We've been saying it, like, about the whole philosophy of defense wins championships and what that means in 2022. And that doesn't mean very much.
It means you're old.
Yeah, and like that's an archaic way of thinking. I mean, it hasn't been done since the Broncos did it. So the fact that they did it to this, like with this offense going up against the Jaguars offense, it just makes it even worse and even more infuriating, because if this is the Bills, you're like, all right, this is the Bills, or it's the Chiefs or the Bengals, but it's the damn Jaguars. So that's what makes it so damn infuriating. And MP, one of my favorite players in the whole league, like even before he was a Raven.
Mhm.
And it sucks. It sucks to see him struggle and him getting picked on. Whether he's healthy or not, he's on the field, so that's what we got to judge him on. He's playing, he's out on the field, so that's what we got to do. It sucks that we're at this point with him. Hopefully, it could somehow get better. Hopefully, Marcus Williams come back and be at that, in my opinion, all-pro level that he was playing in before he got hurt. He started practicing last week, so hopefully he'll be back soon and just shore things up back there and make sure things like this don't happen anymore, because it's frustrating to see. I mean, what is this, the fourth, fifth game where something like this happens in the fourth quarter? Like, you can't do that.
Right. It seems like a theme a pattern for the season. But before we move on to the last topic, there's a pinned message in the comment section. We need you guys to click that. That will take you to Open Mic with OTR Mike. That's his YouTube channel. It's 227 people in here, so please, we're trying to get him to 200. Please click that link, hit the subscribe button, and be there for the quality content that Mike's putting out. His latest episode, which came out this morning, was about your Thanksgiving red flags, and it was a great episode, a great listen, a great commute listen, whether you're going to work or coming from work or sitting at your office or desk or whatever you do. It's a great listen, and it's not just all football. It's life, and it's a good wholesome podcast that can kind of get your mind off of the craziness that we call football. So please click that link, go support, subscribe, and we're trying to get them to 200. And Zay, I think you're gonna be on the count because you always be on the count.
I'm on it. And we have 168 right now.
Appreciate that, Coach.
168 now. We need
170.
30 people.
30 people.
30 people. 30 people by the time we finish talking about this dude.
Lord.
We need 30 people to go.
So you got a couple weeks to get this done. That's it.
Actually, we got 10 minutes at max. We're not doing 2 hours today.
Hashtag no 2 hours.
Hashtag no 2 hours. Coaching. B, you start with coaching.
I mean, if all the players get Fs, I don't know. I don't know how we can go anywhere other than F for the coach. Again, this is what I've been saying about Harbaugh for years. I mean, even back when they were sort of winning, I was like, it's time for Harbaugh to go. Because he's just top coach. I think the message is stale. Right? I think the players have tuned him out. I don't think they dislike Harbaugh at all. He seems like a likable enough guy. I'm sure
one person does.
Okay. but that one person can't cover a tackle, so their opinion don't count. It's just a Z plus.
How you get a Z plus?
I agree with that message.
Way to remain positive, Donnie J.
You're out here again. You were going to get fired in 2018. Lamar came in and saved your job. Okay, so it's fine. 2019. Okay, we're going to do it my way. This guy is the best runner at that position that we've ever seen. So we're just going to build the best rushing attack and the best defense we can, and we're going to ride that. And it worked up until the playoffs where you got completely shut out. But then 20, 21, 22, you're doing the exact same thing, and it hasn't worked yet. I don't think that he's a coach who's really trying to win anymore. I think he got his ring and he just wants to be in that position. He wants to be up on that podium. He wants to lie to the media. He wants to give those speeches to the players, and he wants to do it his way. And you're not going to tell him that he has to do it another way. You're not going to tell him his way doesn't work. He's not going to listen. He has his friends on the staff. He's very comfortable. He feels like he can't go anywhere, and he's just going to do what he wants to do. And it is killing this team, and it's wasting Lamar Jackson. So Yeah, an F-, and he should be fired immediately.
I don't know if I want to follow B. Hendo, you got some hot takes. Come on, let's talk about that.
Me? I mean, you already, people already know how I feel about him. He gets an F-. Like everything B said, you have a guy who comes in, he walks into a culture that is already winning. We already have everything set in place for him as a coach. He comes and tries to dismantle it. The whole club renders a mutiny. Yeah, it's true. We have a mutiny because they're like, bruh, this team has a direction and you're killing it. We win a Super Bowl. He feels like he's indestructible, gets rid of all of the strong personalities that we have with this organization. And we see what followed until someone stepped in and said, listen, you have to hire Gary Kubiak. We get back to our winning ways. Kubiak gets the head coach. We go back to the Harbaugh system. Harbaugh's about to be out the door. Lamar steps in and saves his job. He still doesn't see Lamar as the man that saved his job by himself because this team was 4-5 with Flacco going nowhere fast. Lamar comes in and we have a talent like we've never seen before in offense. I don't know about the rest of you gentlemen, but I never thought that in my lifetime I would see an offensive player win MVP of the league on offense for the Baltimore Ravens. And Lamar came and did that his second year, his first full year starting. After that, Harbaugh says, you know what? You did well, kid, but I'm going to see if you can do better with less. Yeah. My philosophy works because I won a Super Bowl so many years ago, luckily.
I'm a system guy.
And listen, we put this system in for you. We brought in Greg Roman for you. Everything is for you. And after playoff success that we did not have year after year after year, we're still doing the same thing. And people are blindly following this idiot, thinking that running is the way to a Super Bowl. Now, this philosophy has gone over to these networks, that 4-letter network, and they have Dan Orlovsky, of all people, saying teams are running the football again. This is the way to a championship. This fool and his staff has people believing they're going to beat the Dolphins, the Chiefs, whomever in the playoffs running the ball. We're going to take these lackluster beta male men into the playoffs and do something different this year. Why? We have less talent on offense than we did in 2019. No matter what you people say out in the comments, the offensive talent is worse. And we're going to do something better just because we signed a couple pieces on defense. And apparently we're not stopping anybody. And does this coaching go to the assistants as well?
Yep.
Okay, Mike McDonald, a deer in headlights. Listen, I don't blame him. He's a grad assistant. He has not finished studying what he needs to study. And Jose said this before. We could have hired a myriad of different coaches out there that were better and available, but we wanted to bring in somebody that made John Harbaugh feel safe as a man because he does not like confrontation. He does not like having someone looking over his shoulder, maybe being his replacement. Greg Roman, what do we need to say? He's almost cursed. He's an idiot. We have Pat Ricard, Nick Boyle, and Josh Oliver getting more snaps this last game. We saw the result. Somebody asked, why are you putting in a fullback when you know you have to drive down the field? Why is the fullback in the game? You got 14 seconds left. You're trying to drive down the field. You got a fullback out running routes. And if your head coach looks at that and said, you're fine, you're doing well, that makes you just as bad as him. And they all have to go immediately.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hey, real quick, Coach. I want to call out Ashanti in the chat. I saw him take some shots at my brother last week too. My brother's a Panthers fan, and there's nothing that he said that he is off on. All right, you saying he's being dishonest, but at the very end there, you agree with him. He hasn't been great. He not only hasn't been great, he sucked, and you can't tell me a time where he's actually been good. Right? The last time we can tell you he did a great job. It was a Super Bowl. You were probably about 12. Okay, so don't sit here and try to defend this man. In fact, I've been telling people he's Mike McCarthy. I need to apologize to Mike McCarthy. He is not on Mike McCarthy's level. Okay, he's not any leader, man. He's not a motivator. Right. By the way, yes, we're giving the whole coaching staff an F, but yes, this is the man that we gotta point our anger to. But he doesn't motivate anybody. He came to a team that had some of the greatest leaders that played the game. right? That didn't need somebody like him to go in there and motivate anybody. They're self-motivated, and he rode that wave. Okay. And all he did since that Super Bowl was try to push as many of those alpha male figures out of the locker room so he could be the singular voice, because he thinks he's Bill Belichick. That's who he thinks he is. He thinks we don't need talent. You just got to follow my system and we'll win. But it's a guy that doesn't know offense. He doesn't know defense. Yeah, he knows special teams really well. If we need a kicker, we'll get that kicker every time. We'll get that punter every time.
Realize the special team
that
guy
gunner
walked out of the end zone to the 5-yard line yesterday.
Yeah.
But also, here comes the special team guy.
Oh, but also, listen, I don't know if some of you know this, because you might not have been Ravens fans back then, but you're talking smack now. He tried to sabotage the Super Bowl when he did that fake field goal with Justin Tucker running the ball. Like, he does stupid things. Like, don't think that he went there and we won a Super Bowl because of him.
We were almost the Falcons.
Oh, man. We won the Super Bowl in spite of him.
Yes.
Right.
And if it wasn't for Greg Roman calling bad plays for San Francisco, we would have lost that Super Bowl.
Look who's the scapegoat in both situations. Greg Roman.
Yeah. And you beat him in the Super Bowl, then you hired him.
And one more thing I want to point out too, because I mean, he admitted to his shortcomings. It was second quarter or halftime when they're doing the sideline report and they're asking them, hey, Lamar seems frustrated with the with the plays. It seems like they're not coming in fast enough, or they're getting a lot of delayed games. And he said, yeah, that's on us. We're not getting the plays to them fast enough. Why? This is something that clearly upsets Lamar. This is something that's been going on for years, right? This isn't games, for years. We've been talking about pre-snap penalties since last year, Coach, right? And it's been happening before that. Lamar is just visibly upset about it now. He's like, oh yeah, that's on us. We just gotta fix it. Fix it. Why can't you fix something like that? What is Greg Roman doing up there that he can't get the play calls in a little faster? Right?
They cut the Greg Roman one time, and this man was twiddling his fingers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's he playing? Tell him to turn off the Candy Crush. All right.
I feel attacked about the Candy Crush.
All right, okay.
I love Candy Crush.
Okay, put down the Farm Heroes.
Stardew Valley, that's my thing too. Look, whatever you're playing, right? Put it down and pay attention to the game, because I swear that's what it is. I feel like sometimes his mind just draws a blank, and they gotta be like, "Yo, coach, we need to play." Oh, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go 4. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, you're taking too long to get basic play calling in. You try and dress it up, and it goes nowhere. Ashanti says 12.
I just ain't got to do that. I was going to ask which HBCU in Alabama. That's all I was going to ask.
Oh, okay.
Chris, it's on you about coach.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's the one who hires these guys, right? He's the one who puts these guys in those seats that they're in. And when Sarah Ellison put that out there about the Ravens lady, and she put that Harbaugh said they have to get through this and rectify the situation about getting the plays in on time. And Hendo said it earlier in the stream. They said this weeks ago. It's week 12. Why are we still having this problem? Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like, this is not high school. Like, this is the NFL. And for him to just stick by this dude's side, even though you see there's wild inconsistencies on the field, whether it's a disconnect between Lamar and Roman, we don't know that for sure. But on the field, it certainly looks like there's a disconnect, because there's never any cohesiveness when it comes to the play calling or getting in rhythm. And that's just been how it's always been for the John Harbaugh era. When you look at it as a whole, when Flacco was here, there was not a lot of consistency. And you could say what you want about Flacco, but now we're in the Lamar era, and there's still wild inconsistency for the most part on the offensive side of the ball. So if you don't get a guy in here who can change this or who can take Lamar to the next level, because we don't want the same, we want progression, and there's been a steep regression. And you look over at Miami and you look at Tua. Tua talks about how much trust he has in Mike McDonald's play calls and the confidence that Mike McDonald has instilled in his game. And I know he has Tyreek Hill. I know he has Jalen Waddle. I get that. But for your quarterback to trust your play calling and trust the plays that are being called, that's so important. Because if you call in a play, and I heard Ray Lewis talk about this, when you get a call from your DC or your OC and you trust that call, it makes your play on the field better. When you go on there and you don't trust that call, and you're like, this shit's not going to work. You know, you're already starting off on a bad foot. So, I mean, it's tough. And I feel like Roman should have got the can. But, hey, you know, what do I know?
And Mike.
Y'all leave me last, right? For the positivity. No, so look, I'm a spare Harbs on this because my issue is with the coordinators.
Who hasn't?
Well, I mean, I know, but look, they got the job. They still got to do their job. I think Hard's problem is his loyalty to those guys, whether it's just his stubbornness and he just doesn't want the cake on his face for firing anybody. But that's where I'm upset with Harbs. Like, it might be time, and I see a lot of people saying it. You know, next week if we don't play well against Denver or we lose at Denver, then it might be time to make a move. I think the spotlight will be on him in that regard. Now, the coordinators, you go to the OC. I said this the last couple of weeks. I have a huge problem that Ricard is on the field 70% of the time. He was on the field more than our stand-in number one wide receiver in DeMarcus Robinson. Right? He played more snaps. I have a huge problem with that. The lack of adjustments. I don't halfway mind the plays that he tries to run with Ricard, but it's just the wrong person, right? I'd rather you even try. You know, he has a newfound love for Josh Oliver. Like, put him there, man. Nobody's checking for him. Like, he might have been able to sneak out on that screen and get 10 yards or something. There's nobody's checking for him. Right, but I just have a huge problem with that. Like, that's an issue. You go on the defensive side of the ball. I think, you know, what we saw was a young coach who got severely outcoached by a veteran coach, right? By a Super Bowl winning coach. He took that boy, put him over his knee, and smacked him up real quick, right? Because he like, listen, this the big boy leagues, and that's what he did. He had that man's head spinning, and look, hopefully he learns from it. And all of us that have issue with Mike McDonald, like, yo, he's not going anywhere, so get used to him because he's going to be here. But Harbs has he it's going to be on him. It's time to start looking for a change now. Even if you're doing it in-house on some, like, listen, man, Greg, we're going to let such and such start calling some plays or being more involved in creating the offensive scheme. He's got to do something, and I think that's to his fault. I don't hate Harbs. I don't think he's a bad coach. You know, the message could be getting stale, and I'll never say that couldn't be a possibility. But if he doesn't make a move, that's his biggest flaw to me. If he's not going to make a move and make a change, he did it a couple years ago, and look how we turned out. So it's setting up for that. We're going to need something like that. Now, whether he does it or not, time will tell. So I'm going to spare him. Our coordinators need some help, though. They need to, you know, especially that offensive guy. We need to see something different out of that. That vault obviously ain't as deep as we thought. Because you running screens for fullbacks and wheel routes for fullbacks. That shit just ticks me off seeing that every week. And the snap count coming out just only ticked me off even more to see he was on the field 70%, 75% of the time.
Say where we at?
What was your grade though?
Incomplete.
Oh, okay.
Where we at, Zay?
We at 175. We need 25 subscribers.
Open
mic. Open mic with OTR mic.
The pin comment.
Yes.
The pin comment. Now, I'm gonna see if I can copy it again. I can't copy.
25.
Pin comment. Go.
I'll put it.
We almost done. We had 2 hours. We about to wrap this thing up.
Yes.
Go to hit the pin comment. Go over there and click subscribe. That's all you got to do. Trying to get them up to the next number, and we gonna badger you till you do it. I know we can't make you do it, so don't get me wrong. We can't make you do it, but we would appreciate if you go over there and do that. Highly appreciate if you go over and do that.
Yo, Coach,
go ahead. I ain't mean to cut you off.
I'm sorry. I think that this background is perfect because I'm sitting here. We're all talking about how terrible the job he's doing, and I can imagine him listening to this stream with that exact look on his face,
right?
Because he knows he ain't going nowhere. He ain't making a damn thing.
Like somebody said, he did like Triple H. He married into the family.
I saw Ashanti's comment about ask other Hall of Fame coaches what they feel about Harbaugh. Ask the players how they feel about Harbaugh. Coaches don't talk about other coaches. Ask what the players feel about Harbaugh.
And I'm gonna tell you how hard it is to talk about other coaches. Me being a lower level coach, it was hard for me to come in here for 2 or 3 years and say anything bad about the coach.
Yeah,
because coaches don't normally talk, about coaches. But after so long, and they have way more experience than me because it's their full-time job. Coaching for me was, I had to teach do all the others. They have way more experience. They know more football than me. I never say I know more than them. But I can take what I see on Sundays and then what I see on the regular film and realize when some things are right, some things are wrong, because football is football. It's blocking, it's tackle. It's blocking, it's tackle. And it's the same fundamentally from the ground up. You get a little more nuance on it as you go, but it's the same fundamentally. So with that being said, we went over 2 hours. Hendo, where can they find your stuff?
Oh, you can find me at Ravens Online Ungatekeepers on YouTube every Sunday, 7 p.m. doing a live stream. You can also catch me now in audio form on all of your favorite audio platforms. And listen, if you're feeling generous, I'm like 10 subscribers away from 1,300. So if you want to slide over there and hit that off, I'd appreciate that as well. Also, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at @RGatekeepers. And thank you for having me once again, Coach.
No problem. Enjoyed it. Chris?
You can catch me on the Deep Cover Pod. We drop a episode when we feel like it. You could catch my offensive guard, top 5 offensive guard prospects coming out. That's on the Deep Cover Pod YouTube channel. So please check that out.
All right. Mike?
Yeah, man. First of all, look, I appreciate all of y'all, man, those that subscribed. I need y'all to subscribe to everybody on this screen if you have not. Chris, I was just gonna say that, Chris, if you didn't point it out. Chris be pointing out the prospects, and I'm on Saturdays looking like, hold up, that's that dude Chris was talking about.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? So check out everybody, man, and subscribe. Look, man, we do this for y'all, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we started this a couple weeks ago. Well, season, the beginning of the season.
A while ago.
Yeah. Wow, week 12. Wow, I didn't even know what you were talking. But yeah, man, we do this because we love it, but we do it because y'all asking for it, man. So support everybody here. As you know, I'm Mike. I'm OTR Mike, and I'm the host of Open Mic. Man, that's the show where the mic is open for any discussion, no matter what it is, who it is, or where it is. And you get a different side of things outside of football, man. I try to dig deep, especially with these guys. I will eventually get everybody on. I am only 8 episodes in, but my job is to pull and give you guys a different side of your favorite content creators, and that's what I'm going to do. So, man, go and support that if you please. I am also 1/3 of Ring Kings podcast with Brodney and Jose. That's everything boxing, man, and that's for the casual fan. We got a little bit of everything for everybody, man. We don't make the casual fan feel like they are not welcome. So go over there to subscribe, man. We got some stuff coming over there as well. So yeah, Follow me on Twitter too at OTR_Mike for more. And you follow, I follow back, unless you one of them weird ones that kind of came at Lamar. You know what I mean? Right. Or I came at Coach, right. And
don't come at Coach.
Matter of fact, we'll talk about that offline because we was about to, But anyway, so man, look, man, there's love. I appreciate all of y'all that subscribed or are subscribing now, man. And we see y'all next week.
Jose and B.
All right. I'm trying to pull up the count for Mikey. Last I checked was at 185. So let's keep it going.
We need 15.
15. All right. I put everybody's links in the chat. So there's no excuse to not subscribe to everybody here. All right. But we are the Lunch Break Hot Take. We do a live show every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. We follow that up with the overtime show, which you can find on our Patreon at patreon.com/LBHT show. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT show. And like Mikey mentioned, Ring Kings podcast. Okay. I didn't put out a podcast on time today. My bad. But we have a few videos, okay, that we drop in. Okay. We got a new sparring sessions. We have a new watch list video coming out. And then we're going to drop you with another the latest episode of Ring Kings podcast. We might even give you 2. We'll see how that works out. But lots of content coming up. We'll be in New York to watch that fight on December 10th. Teofimo Lopez fighting. It's not Pedraza anymore. It's what's the guy's name? Yeah, Martin. Sandor Martin. So that's a stat card, and we'll be giving you our thoughts on that fight card because it's a stat fight card as well. So go ahead and subscribe.
B, you want to add to that, or well, B, how about you describe that you gave me today? This
is our one of our alternate logos. We got a few colorways. So we got them in the Ravens colors. We got one in the Panthers colors. We got a couple other ones for basketball season. But we thought we kind of specialize it for when we're talking Baltimore.
It kind of look like got cute colors too, but
I don't know about all that. But it's looking like Baltimore.
Hey, Agent E, we ain't forgot about you.
Who?
Agent E.
Oh, he here. Okay, so
we ain't forgot about you.
Agent E, I got your attention. I don't know if you was here for the first one, but you was on me about being on this couch. And so somebody took that and ran with it. Told me to get off the couch, go touch some dirt, and stop man watching. And I blame you for bringing up the couch so much, AG. So I'm looking at you right here, right in my face. Like Steph Curry daughter when she was little. My eyes on you, brother. You and the dude, he said something to me, and before I could reply, he blocked me. If you want to see the story behind it, I put a little video out. Go to my Twitter, Coach Evans 9 on Twitter, and you can see probably one of my last tweets. Dude said something to me about a video I put up real quick, and I went to go respond, and I was blocked, which to me was funny. So it is what it is, man. I appreciate everybody for coming. I can't blame you for it.
And we do.
But again, this is all love, man. This podcast / roundtable, whatever, is really a breath of fresh air after what we go through or what we've been going through on Sundays. And B kind of been going through it for a whole season, but they in straight up tank mode. I ain't saying they're trying to be funny. Yeah, you trying to get a quarterback, right, B?
It is funny, Coach.
They won on Sunday, though.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's funny.
That's why he's not laughing.
It's funny. It's funny because they tanking, but they winning.
They put Sam Darnold back in there.
QB?
Sam Darnold playing for his career. He got that W.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't want to be great. I want to be great. But again, appreciate everybody for coming through. Appreciate the chat box, man. You guys be going over there going ham, but this show will be nothing without y'all. I appreciate everybody that came through with the super chats. I'm going to show y'all some love tomorrow, everybody that did that. And be on the lookout for Twitter for that love or in one of the videos coming out. So you just got to follow me wherever I be at. And again, thank you from everybody that's up here. We at 209. We're not going to 2010. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us. Peace. Enjoy the rest of the Monday night game and go watch George Pickens catch some balls. He's on the field. Ojabo is not.